We've been in this for 13 years. Are our policymakers today in the White House, in the Defense Department, do they have any better idea of what the Middle East is like and what motivates people in the Middle East than we did on September 10th, 2001?
Oh, I think we have a much richer understanding of.
Do we have a strategy?
But I'm not, I'm not going to say that understanding has translated to a strategy.
Can you tell us what the American strategy to deal with terrorism and the related problems of Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, et cetera? What is the strategy?
No,
today?
I can't. I can't.
You can't because you don't want to, or you can't because there is none?
So I'll just use. I use a really important example. And that's Syria. Syria was, for about the last year I was chairman, was really starting to bubble. And focus was turning towards Syria. Obviously, in early 2011, Egypt sucked up an awful lot of the bandwidth of everybody on the Middle East. But Syria in particular, I don't support military intervention there. Didn't when it first came up. And a colleague of mine I've gotten to know, Anne-Marie Slaughter, who's here on another panel right now, she and I have debated this a couple times. And I approach it from the point of view that I want the political leaders and that are focused on this region. So it needs to be our president, Hollande, Cameron, Putin, Netanyahu, Abdullah, Erdogan, whoever's running Egypt, and I guess now it's Sisi, and then controversially, we make a decision or we have a discussion about whether we involve Nasrallah, and Netanyahu should be involved, whether we involve Nasrallah, who leads Hezbollah, and whether we involve Khamenei in Iran, or Rouhani, who's obviously out in front right now. And I want the politicians to get together and say, we got to stop the killing and we got to get the refugees home. Then give direction to their governments, figure out the policy to do this, have the diplomats do the work. Now I have a strategy. It's not perfect. And then, oh, by the way, the military needs to do this inside that strategy, as opposed to my view of what was going on when we were talking about striking in Syria is let's hit them with the military and then we'll figure it out. Nobody could tell me that whatever we did militarily, we weren't going to set the conditions for another 100,000 deaths, another 1 million refugees. That question needs to be answered. And I am tired. I am tired in the military of being the instrument that we use for these problems without all the other hard work that needs to be done inside a strategy.
Let me push back on that, because that's an important point. But